Hello, everyone, and welcome to Longer and Harder, the show on the internet where we take a subject and we go deeper. How are you all doing today? I see a lot of fun people in the chat. I'm going to fix this camera real quick. And we do have Auxiliary Cat Emma right over there, so we'll get a chance to switch over to her pretty quick here. Hello, Ugly German Truths, and Evan Williams, and Luke Filewalker, and Douglas. And I did see Christy Abbey, right? And I saw Shishmir and Micro. How are you all? I hope, and WF6I, how are you? Hope you all are having yourselves a wonderful Sunday afternoon or whatever day it is that you are watching this. I forgot my beer. I just remember this. I spent all that time. I was gonna get beer and I completely forgot it. There is a beer of the week. I'm gonna have to like scoot out of frame to go grab it out of the fridge here in a second, but that's okay. We'll get this right one of these days. I hope you all are doing great. So questions that got asked in the chat real quick. Would I ever debate anyone live? Got asked. I would. No one likes to debate me live. At least none of the people who have asked to debate me live. I've asked like Marty Leeds. I've asked Orphan Red. I've asked a couple other people, and they don't really like debating me live. They say that I'm too much of an asshole, which is probably true. But otherwise, yeah, I'm always I would like to have guests. Problem with guests is I don't. Like I have like when I do have guests, like I've had a couple of guests on this show, and it's usually guests that I'm really comfortable with talking with, microbloganism, GeoStreber, things like that have come onto the show before and done things with me because I am very comfortable chatting with them about things, and so I don't have to try to figure out what like the rhythm of conversation is and all that. We kind of we do things together enough that it's fun. Having other guests on is kind of I don't necessarily know how to interview people properly, and so it's a bit of a so so something like that. Nice. I was talking to someone on Twitter saying nobody would debate them, so bringing you up wouldn't offend you. Nope. Yeah, no, I love to debate them. They more than welcome to use my, depending on who they are, right? Like I'm not gonna I'm not much for platforming like a really egregious people, so so if we're gonna like talk about Nazism, they're not gonna get a platform on my channel. If it's a flat earther or an anti-vaxxer or something like that, that's one I know a little bit more of, and I think I can what's the word for it? I can responsibly platform them on my channel. I'd be more open to that. Some people I'm less confident that I'd be able to like necessarily platform them responsibly, and I don't just want to give people like, hey, here's a platform for you to talk about your nonsense. Yeah, 9 people. Yeah, 6 moderators. That's how we do things around here. There are more Nazis in the United States than there are in Germany. That is not at all surprising. You should not react to tweets from the real Donald Trump, Douglas. It's true. That would be kind of fun. Come on, Donald Trump. Come chat with me, because anti-vaxxers are so much less harmful to us. It's not about the harm part, like, right? That's not the problem, is the harm. Like, I think they are anti-vaxxers or very harmful people. It's that I'm more confident in being able to talk about the subject of anti-vaxxers. Like I can pull up the studies, and I can read up on studies and things. When it comes to things like Nazism, there's a lot of dog whistling, and there's a lot of whatchamacallit, debate tactics that are used that like you have to kind of be on your toes like all the time to get them all, so that you don't accidentally just let them say whatever they want. For example, there's one of the big talking points when it comes to like Nazis and things, or maybe not. Yeah, Nazis I guess sometimes use it, but like a lot of like Holocaust deniers and things like that will say things like what's oh God, I'm trying to remember the exact wording, but I can't. It's something along the lines of, it wasn't really, how can it be a concentration camp if they had a pool or something like that. And people kind of just either laugh it off or just like, what the fuck are you talking about? But that's a dog whistle for the fact that, like, it's a dog whistle for Holocaust deniers, and a lot of Nazis will use that to sort of deny the Holocaust was either happened or was as bad as people say it was, things like that. So there's a lot of dog whistling that I can't necessarily get myself, just because I'm not as much of an expert on Nazis. Imagine that. As I am on anti-vaxxers. Anti-vaxxers are a little bit easier. They have less dog whistly things. They're less eloquent when it comes to debating. So it's very much so like, here's a science. Here's the science. There, don't vaccinate your children. That's pretty much how it goes. Oh, okay. So with that said, we can move on to housekeeping. If I can hit the buttons. As you will notice, our bar is empty. Oh my god, every goddamn time. Our bar is empty. Big thank you to everyone who has done super chats in the past and recently. You all are amazing people. And all my patrons who have supported me, because thanks to your efforts, we managed to get ourselves the money for a new computer. So all I am waiting for is that YouTube takes a little bit of time before they deposit money into accounts. And I think they don't do it until like the 20-something. And so I just have to wait for that to happen. And then I will have all the monies in my PayPal account. And then we will buy a new computer. And things will be hunky-dory after that, as far as our last goal, which was reached. So very, very big thank you to everyone who did super chats, everyone who did all my patrons and whatnot, and everyone who just, if you watch my videos and you share them and you do all the cool stuff with them, that also helps out, because I do get a little bit of ad revenue, not a whole lot, but all of that helped out to meet our goal, and we have met our goal, and we are there, and it's amazing. So thank you. I might have spent all the money on Coke, and I'm just waiting for my next paycheck. Okay. The $3 was for Coke. Good to know. So I updated this one. So I put up a new bar just to give us a new goal to work towards. This one's like, so I try, if you're new to the channel or whatever, I try to put all the money, all the ad revenue, all the patron money, all the super chats. It doesn't go to me. Like, I don't do fun things with it. I guess I buy beer sometimes, for the show, obviously, because obviously. But it tries to go to making the show better, improving the show, improving video quality, all that jazz, right? Production values and all whatnots. So I decided this time, why not go for a softbox, which is a light, as I am told, that is soft. So I just want to do a little quick upgrade to the lighting situation. As you can see on days like today, I have wrong side. I have a very bright side over here and a less bright side over here. And it bothers me a tad bit, so I kind of would like to get a softbox and just sort of soften everything up a little bit. Less harsh lights, all that fun things. So, you know, that's kind of the goal. It's a smaller goal, obviously, because softboxes aren't that expensive, but it's still something to work towards. Together. So technically the American, Japanese, and German camps were more resembling actual concentration camps than the German. Oh, yeah. Sounds about right. So yeah. So that's where we are with that. Anything else? Okay. Beer of the week. I'm going to go get it. So give me like a second, because it's in my fridge and I forgot to grab it. So let me grab beer of the week, and then we will talk about that. That didn't take too long. Okay, so beer of the week. We have still another New Glarus beer, because New Glarus month is still a thing, and it will continue to be a thing until I go through the 3 cases of beer that I bought from them, because it's always. Why did you always insist on reading the third message in a string of continue writing? Because that's the most recent one. Okay, so beer of the week, we have a New Glarus beer from New Glarus, Wisconsin. Again, I don't know what the alcohol level is. It's something, I am assuming. There's nothing on the label. There's nothing on the website. They're just terrible about actually telling me what this is. It's not like a full growler. It's a bigger bottle. 500 milliliters, which I don't know is some amount of ounces. So that's more or less what we got. There's no real description besides it's a Belgian quadruple with caramel and raisin notes. So that's what we got to go with. So with that said, let's see what this looks like. Let's see what this tastes like. About half a quart. Okay. I also don't know what that actually means. Like. Ooh, this is a really dark beer. That's got a nice color to it. Look at that. Oh, it's not like super dark like I like my beers, but it's nice and tan. Look at that. I like that color. That's a good color. It's coming off a little bit darker on the stream, but it is more tan than it is dark. So that's cool. 4 quarts in a gallon. Okay. Ooh, that smells really good. Mmm. Oh, that is delicious. Oh, I love you. I love you, beer. You are so good. Oh, that is really good. So this was one, in case you don't know, in case I haven't told this story enough times, I was in Wisconsin for college reunion like 3 weeks ago, something like that, almost a month ago. And I went to New Glarus Brewing Company where you buy all your beer. And this beer you can only buy at the brewery. You can't buy it at the stores, and you're allowed to buy one per customer. It's great. It's fantastic. It's they were really not. It was like $10 for the bottle or something like that. Maybe a little bit more. Oh, but it is delicious. Oh, that is fantastic. I love that. You can taste the raisins and you can taste the caramel, and it's got a little bit of hoppiness, but not a whole lot. It's very smooth. Oh, that is a dangerous beer. I gotta be careful with this one. That's very, very dangerous. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to switch the camera because as much as I know you will love to watch me, Auxiliary Cat Emma is with us today, so we can watch her take a cute little nap because she is just the cutest little kitty. There we go. We can watch Auxiliary Cat Emma take her nap. Rhetoric&Discourse is called a quart. A quart is a quarter... It's a quarter of a gallon, yes. So I don't... Okay, quarts... Like none of I don't know if you went to school in the if you went to school in the States, you might have seen the what is it called, the gallon frog or gallon man or what are the other? It's a frog made out of all the bits that make up a gallon, and it's fucking weird because like each arm is like a quart, right? And then like there's like 6 fucking toes on each one for the tablespoons. It's weird because American systems of measuring things are weird. And I'm terrible at remembering. I'm terrible at remembering it all because it's just the weirdest shit in the world. So I just remember teaching it at one. The worked well for you, okay? I really seriously don't get American units. It's fine. I don't get it. I live here and I don't get American units. It's great. It particularly sucks when you go grocery shopping because like my wife and I will she'll pick out some recipes to make, and you know we'll go out to buy like 2 cups of it'll say like 2 cups of whatever tomato paste or some nonsense, right? And then you go to the store and everything they sell in the store is done by ounces. And so it's very much so like now we have to remember how many ounces are in a cup, which I think is like 8 or I think 8. But fuck if I remember. So it's all a mess. It's all a mess. Nothing's consistent, and it's fantastic. And I hope we take over the world one day and have to make everyone else use our stupid measuring system because it's the best. It's the best. I gotta read the last of your comments again. There basically is no chance of American contract to have realistic, stochastic expectations of being held judging by how many hundreds with the natives they broke in less than 100 years of U.S. Yes. Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, so with that said, we got our beer of the week done. Give it a grade, I don't know, 8, 9 out of 10. Fantastic, love it. Really super sad that I only bought one of these and could only have one of these here because it is amazing. New Glarus, you outdid yourself with this beer. It's fantastic. Just way to go. Okay, with that said, we have our video menu, which is a little off. Oh, now I know why that. I was trying to edit this and I was like, why are you so funky? Okay, come on. I need to grab the video menu, guys. Why are the numbers so funky? They don't fit. That's great. That's fantastic. We'll go with that. So you can at least see the numbers. At the very least, see the numbers. Okay, so for today, we have ourselves, these are our options. We have The Truman Show by ODD TV. We have AOC by David Icke. Alpha Males by Joe Rogan. How to Write a Myth by Owen Benjamin. Top 25 Flat Earth Proofs by Christine something or another. U is for Unified Theory of the Paranormal by Gaia. And the best book to read by Great. Now I want to see six to hear you really say your theory. The best bad spelling of new theory. No, it's definitely your unified theory. Unified theory of the paranormal. I'm not sure if you guys have ever watched like the um like the what's his face? Jordan, what's your name, Jordan? Spirit Science is like thing on like the history of the world and how he pretty much like goes down like all the paranormal, like any weird ass shit. This is the one with the space Jews. I think it's the one with the space Jews. And he crams it all together into like the real history of the universe or something or another, right? This is kind of like this, at least so far. The bit that I saw was them going through like all the potential, like all the, like a bunch of different theories. Like it started off with like angels being aliens and then aliens being demons and all this. Like it just tries to cram it all together in one place, and I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. So I think this one might also involve space shoes, is pretty much what I'm saying. Oh goodness. So that's great. So yeah, Jordan space shoes are the best. They are fantastic all the time. So yeah, so if you'd like to vote, you can do an upside down I vote and then the number that you like to vote for. So far, it appears that we have number 6. We really want to talk about paranormal shit today. Number 6 and number 5 are kind of the two winning ones. I'm guessing we want a palate cleanser after talking about so much nonsense last week. So much bigotry in one video. It was a fantastic week. We would never have made it to safe if we're not for the Jews. Oh yeah, space Jews are all the way. Space Jews and like Native Americans were something else. I forget what they're from. They might have been like interdimensional or from Atlantis. I forget. Native Americans were from a thing. I'm apathetic about voting because you keep saying upside down I. I believe they time traveled to dodge the apocalypse. Probably. Native Americans were from underwater. I think so. I think they were from Atlantis. I think that's what that ended up being. It was weird, and it's a fun video. I'll try to find. I don't think Spirit Science has really like released a video recently. Like he's moved on from doing like those funny YouTube videos that he did. So I don't think he's released one in a while, but we might have to throw like the Space Jew one in here. For once, because it's the best. They're not from Egypt. The Mormons lied to me. Yeah, imagine that. Hello, Amelia Crowell. How are you? There's a bunch of new people hanging around. Hello, Delmer. How are you? Hello, Amelia. I said hi to you. Jonathan, baby. How are we doing? I see Dora Niku. Dora Niku. Are you Dora Kun? Are you my new patron? Because if you are, I owe you some boobs, and you should say so if you are. I don't know, because you're like, I get one name on the patron side and I get another name on this side, and I never know. It took me forever to figure out who Ugly German Truths was, so it just happens. Midnight Chameleon, how are you all doing? I hope you all are having yourselves a great time. You got about a minute left to vote on. You are the same. Great. Then I owe you some boobs, my friend. Because thank you very much for becoming a patron. Greatly appreciated. And I'm going to. So you get to pick between the number 1 and the number 36. You get to pick one of those numbers, and you get those boobs. That is how that works. Hello, Red. How are you? As a thank you for becoming a patron. That's what you get. So thank you very much. So it really does look like number 6 is gonna be the one. You got about 15 seconds, which by the time I said, you're gonna be like all out of time. But it looks like number 6 is going to be the winner. 41 is not one of the options. 1 and 36. Those are your options between 1 and 36. 14. Okay, we'll do 14. Okay, first things first. There's our poll is no longer Vato. Number 6 won with 35% of the votes. So we are going to listen to the universal theory of the paranormal by Gaia. But first, and again, important things must happen first. Thank you very much, Dora, for becoming a patron. You asked for number 14, so you get number 14, which is bam, right there. Did I hit it? Nope. There we go. So thank you very much. It looks like they are working today, unlike last time, so you do actually get to enjoy them. So thank you very much. And let's get ourselves our video ready for today. We got to, where are you? There we go. Video options, the unified theory of the paranormal. Get that set up. There we go. And then, sorry, I'm a mess because I'm always a mess, right? Why would I not be a mess? That is one of the things that I do need. I do need like a producer for like half this shit because I am constantly a wreck around here, and a producer would be very nice. Okay, so the whole name of the video is A Unified Theory of the Paranormal. It's by Gaia. You've probably seen their ads. So the only reason that I bumped into this because I was looking up chakras. Not that I care about chakras, but I was looking up chakras, and this ad popped up for Gaia, and as soon as I saw just a little bit of the ad, I was like, yeah, that's a thing. Half of these videos I can predict 50-80% of the content just by who made them, and the title is "PragerU talking about a book, Bible nonsense." Exactly, like that wasn't even that wasn't even like a hard thing to figure out. I haven't watched the video, but I'm pretty sure the Bible is the best book to read. Okay, so with that said, let's see what Gaia has to say about everything, I suppose.
From demons and fairies to UFOs and Bigfoot, tales of the unexplained have been a part of humanity's story since the beginning. Ancient alien theorists.
Those ancient alien theorists, just the best. Your showtimes are so consistent. I would be your producer, no problem, but we don't really know each other. I'd have to I think before I got a producer, I'd have to figure out how to do it. I just know I need one. I don't know what that entails. I just know that I need someone to help me. So I'm sure there's some way to help. I just don't know what that is. Because I'm terrible, and mostly it's just the switching between screens and things. Because I have to do it by myself. Okay. Ancient aliens people. That's where we're starting off. I should do the woo bingo. Goddamn, let's do that before we get too far ahead. Let's do some woo bingo. I don't even know why I got ahead of myself here, and we didn't do a bingo card. Let's do a bingo card generator. I will gladly take suggestions from the chat here on what to put. What should we put on this woo bingo card? So we do already have a woo bingo card, but I think this is, considering how we're going to talk about the paranormal, we should probably try to bingo card generator. There we go. We should probably try to come up with some new words. So we will call this the paranormal bingo today. Paranormal, if I can spell that. Normal bingo. And I am open to any words that you think will show up. And I don't know. We'll do a prize at the end if somebody gets a bingo. I don't know what that prize is going to be, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it anyway. Paranormal is a free space. Okay. We're going to do that with, yes. You told me to. Okay. So, quantum. Okay. So we got our first word. So paranormal is going to be our free space. I'll try to stick that in the middle. Or maybe it'll just be a free space. So we won't actually have a free space, but if you get the word paranormal, you can put a free chip on there yourself. Okay, so we got quantum. I should do this up here so you all can see, because this is kind of boring to just like hear me talk. But I will get that going while I write down words and whatnots. Okay, so we got quantum. What else do we need? We got spirit, frequency, psychology, piscology. Piscology is my favorite. Piscology. I saw Oh no! Stop doing things. Stop doing things, computer. Sorry, I got all the things all at once. This is again why I need a producer, because I'm trying to do all the things at once and failing miserably at it. We've got wavelengths, pyramids. Oh, pyramids definitely have to be on there. Pyramids, wavelength. Oh, they're not. I do not know how to spell the word wavelength, apparently. Or so Google Chrome tells me. And then we've got natural. Natural's a good one. I like that one. Natural. Let's see. We are. How many? We about four spots to have a 3x3. Asperger's isn't going to help us. Ancient wisdom. I do like that. Ancient wisdom. That's a good one. Ancient wisdom. What am I pressing over here? Wisdom. Ancient wisdom. Let's see. Native American? Heavenly. Ooh, I like heavenly. We're going to put heavenly on here. And Native American, I think. So we'll do heavenly and Native American. And what else? We can do one more for a 3x3. Or we can supernatural. Supernatural, why not? Okay. So we have a 3x3 sort of setup here. We'll stick with that, I think, for now. Okay. Start and try whatever. I don't care about any of this other stuff. Okay, so I will try to share this with everyone. I think there's a share button somewhere around here. Here we go. Okay, so I want to share this card. How do I share this card? I forget how this site works. This site's weird. It lets me. I know it does. Play online or mobile. Any computer can play online for free. Okay, that's great, but I want to share it. Let me share it. Let me share this card. Can I just share this? I don't know if this works, but if it does, I'm going to share it with the chat. And if you'd like to play along, bam. Hopefully that'll take you to a randomized version of the card that I am looking at, which you will be able to use. And I will try to get it set up for myself over here as well. Okay, so I will get it open on this end, and then we can have the card and we can have the thing. It'll be great. Hopefully it'll be great. I'm gonna have to do like funky things and post it in the Discord so that it pops up on my computer because I'm a silly. There we go. Bam. Will it pop up? There it is. All right. That was a little bit too much effortful, but you know what? We got there. We got there eventually. Space. Space should be on here. Sorry, I kind of forgot space. Okay, so with that said, here we go. Sorry that took forever, but you know we got us there. We got us there. So if you would like to play along, here is our bingo card, as which you are welcome to. Follow the link in the chat to go there as well. Just drag it into OBS. Oh, can I just do that? I don't even know how half this works. So there's that. There's our bingo card. There's my bingo card. You have your own bingo card. Play along. We only have 3 spaces. It's a very short one. No free center. So no. So paranormal is gonna be your free. So wherever paranormal is, that is your free spot. Did I put paranormal on here? I did not. Ha ha ha. Never mind. No free spots. You get no free spots. I can resize it live. We're gonna edit this and add paranormal because I forgot. Maybe a couple other words. I did see crystals show up. So okay, we're gonna fix this. We'll add paranormal, and we'll add crystal, and we'll add we have 5 more spaces to have another good grid. So with that said, we need to come up with 5 new words. Space, why not? I can't spell space apparently. Also, I can't see like while I type because, you know. Okay, space is on there. Catalyst, I like catalyst. That's a good one. Catalyst. 3 more words, everyone. 3 more words. Time? Time, why not? Because space, time, it's going to get talked about. It's fine. Consciousness. Can I spell consciousness? That's the real, like, test here is, can R&D spell consciousness? The answer, of course, is no. So there we go. Consciousness, and that's really small. Either. Oh, let's do dimension. Dimension's gonna get mentioned. I know dimension's gonna get mentioned. Okay, dimension. Perfect. Okay, so now paranormal's on there. We'll go over here, and then we'll get it online, and we will share this again. Got it. Oh no, I did not mean to do that. Meant to do that, and then meant to go down here, and we'll share it again. I have to do this in a weird way because my chat is in a different spot than my is on my laptop, and my OBS is on my desktop. So it's all sorts of fun. So let's copy this real quick, and this is our new bingo card for everyone to use if you would like to go chat. I don't know, if you win a bingo, you get a thing. There you go. Covers the stand broke off. Oh no, my phone cover's stand broke off. That's no good. That makes... Okay, so with that said, we now have ourselves our woo card right there, our space Jew card, or what? Let's call it that. Why not, right? So we got a woo card. You get a free space for paranormal. So wherever you hit paranormal, you get a free space for that. You can cross that one off your thing, print it off. I don't know. Keep track of things. Do whatever you want. Keep it up somehow. I don't know how I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this. I might have to, just to make my life easy. Can I? I might need to figure out. All the names are the same place as yours. You should be different. Ah, they should be different. They should. I think if you hit the new card thing up here, like you load into it and then you hit the new card, it should reshuffle all the things for you. So hit the new card button and it should reshuffle them for you. That should do it. And then you should have a different card. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to make my life easier. We're going to get a screenshot of this, and I'm going to open it up in a different spot so that I have it and I can actually write on it. Because then I can actually show you. Can I write on this one? Am I allowed to write? I don't remember where I'm allowed to write things on. Tools. Let's open it. God, the things that I have to do to write on things is a lot more difficult than I want it to be. I swear. Am I allowed to write things here? Assign profile? Nope. Don't know how to write. Don't know how to write because that would be useful. Knowing how to write would be useful. It's truly weird. Okay, so we will get things switched over here. Okay, so with that said, let's go back to our video. We'll watch a little bit of that while I figure out how the best way for me to get that, be able to cross things out is in a second. What is a dimension? I don't know. I don't know what a dimension is. I don't know what anything is. Everything's a bit of a mess. As it happens from time to time. Okay, we've been talking a whole lot. Oh, I am really glad that camera's not on me because I've gotten sweaty and gross. Okay, here we go.
We'll look at the Bible and chalk up every bizarre event to aliens, while a religious scholar may look at contemporary alien encounters as manifestations of demons.
Contemporary scholars or contemporary Christian scholars are going to look at aliens as demons. That's great.
Bigfoot and other cryptids have a strange habit of showing up near UFO sightings. And those who encounter either of these phenomena often discover newfound psychic abilities.
What?
Could there be a common cause
computer,
that explains
stop.
all paranormal events?
Stop that video. Stop that video nonsense. So, I guess the best way for me to get some whatchamacallit, some psychic powers is to go find me a Bigfoot and or an alien. Oh, I like that one. Oh, that's a good one.
One of the most famous sustained paranormal experiences is the Mothman incident of 1966.
Wasn't there a movie made about that? I feel like there was a horror movie made about that. There are Christians who think UFOs are demons. You are right. I think not Answers in Genesis might be one of them. If I remember right. I think and Answers in Genesis is one that thinks that UFOs are just demons. If not, it's their siblings. What are they called? Not Answers in Genesis. They're called something. Creation Ministries International. I think Creation Ministries International has the same kind of dealio where they think where they also think that UFOs are aliens or some kind of thing, or no, sorry, not UFOs or aliens. They also think that aliens are some sort of demon, and they actually have some sort of like religious implication to them, or religious like something religious to them all.
For 13 months, Point Pleasant, West Virginia was...
John Morris Pendleton. Oh, I miss John Morris Pendleton. He's the guy who thinks who found the whatchamacallit. No, he's not the guy who found the pterodactyl. That was his friend. His friend found the pterodactyl. He just reported on it. Fucking demons and space Jews. It's true.
Plagued with sightings of a bizarre winged humanoid, accompanied by mysterious lights in the sky, animal mutilations, and other accounts of paranormal activity. Journalist John Keel famously documented this prolonged period of unusual events in his book, The Mothman Prophecies.
Yeah, I think that was a movie, and as far as I know, it was supposed to be a really scary movie. An investigation into the mysteries of American visits the infamous feathery Garuda. Paranormal. I hope. Oh, sweet! I entirely forgot the L, didn't I? They're most likely a barred owl. Yeah. I remember like growing up as a kid. So growing up as a immigrant, as a Mexican immigrant into the States, right? One of the fun things about being Mexican is that we take the paranormal like super seriously all the goddamn time, to the point where if you probably have seen, and they actually they do some legitimate reporting, but you've probably seen like Univision and Telemundo, and they are the Hispanic news networks in the States, right? So you can watch them in the States, but they mostly they do report on like world stuff, but they report on a lot of news in South America and Mexico, because and it's all Spanish, because and then the news that they report in the States tends to be more sort of related to how it affects the Hispanic population in the States rather than how it affects the white people in the States. That tends to sort of be the kind of reporting that happens on this network, right? Oh my goodness, Christy Abbey fucking beat me to it. So, growing up in the 90s, the thing that got reported as all to hell was the chupacabra. Fucking chupacabras everywhere. And like the serious, legitimate news source, the Univision Telemundo, which, I mean, I guess after they do this, they're not so legitimate, right? Reported the shit out of the chupacabra. Like, it was like, for a solid, like, 2 or 3, I feel like it was 2 or 3 months, but I was a kid at the time, so I really don't know. I really don't remember. Like, they reported on this, like, every night. They had a new chupacabra sighting. They had a new, isn't the chupacabra the goat vampire? It is the goat vampire. I had, as a kid growing up, I had a t-shirt, like a chupacabra t-shirt that had, like, the anatomy of a chupacabra, and I had, like, a chupacabra drawing on it. It was fucking great. Like, it was a thing. It was such a thing. And, like, legitimate news sources reported on this nonsense. The other one that I remember was there was a famous songwriter, a famous like a singer. I forget her name. Oh God, I should look it up, because this was a thing that happened. It happened around the Selena murder thing as well. That she like a bunch of albums came out. Not a bunch of albums came out, but like one album, somebody took like did the thing where you can do with vinyl and like play it backwards, and you hear things, right? And not Celine Dion. Selena is different. Selena is like she's from, I think she's from Mexico. I forget if she's from Mexico, but she was a very famous in the '90s Hispanic singer. She was very, very famous, and then she was murdered by her producer. And that was a big thing. It was a whole thing. But sorry. So they took vinyl and they played it backwards, and they were hearing. Like you could hear. I say this with quotes that you can't see, right? She was from Texas. You're right. She was from Texas. Her family, I think, was from Mexico. She was Hispanic. I'm so right, but you're right. She was from Texas. I forgot. This was like in 1996 or something like that. So they played it backwards, and you could hear like all these noises and all these sentences and whatnot. And again, this like Univision, like every night for a while, they just had like they talked about this stupid ass supernatural nonsense for like a solid week. It was insane how often that happened. However, speaking of doing this backwards, I guess I saw this on YouTube, so I don't know how legitimate it is, but I saw this on YouTube. I guess if you do play and Gio's gonna like this one, if you play songs from the new Doom game, the Doom 2016 Doom game, they actually did hide messages in there, like the artist, and I think the artist has confirmed that he did it on purpose. So there are actual like hidden messages in the Doom 2016 soundtrack. I think if you get like the you can do something to it, and it'll say like 666 on it. If you make a, I don't know, turn the sound waves into whatever, into visual things. I forget what that's called. You can see like 666 on it, and it's hilarious. So I'm sure they did entirely fuck with people. That was last one just discovered. Yeah. So yeah, there's a bunch of backwards things. It's really cool. Spectrograph. Thank you, Spectrograph. I knew there was a word for these things. It's even better because frequency analysis shows that there are pentagrams hidden in the songs. Thank you. Pentagrams. There's a thing. Spectrographs. Frequency analysis. One of those. There's images. There we go. We're kind of on the same boat here. This has happened. It's a thing that has happened. It's really cool. It's really cool stuff. Spanish was my first language. Oh, very cool. Spanish was my first language, which I use as an excuse for my inability to English well. So there's a bunch of really cool things with the new Doom soundtrack, where you can play things backwards, spectrograph it, and it makes pentagrams. I think it also does make a 666. I watched a YouTube video about it like a couple weeks ago, and it's really cool stuff in there. I'm pretty sure that if you do like if you're really curious about this stuff, I think if you do like hidden Easter eggs in Doom, you'll be able to find them. Okay, with that said, we are way off the rails of where we first started about this stuff. Oh yeah, no, this stuff was really big with my family. My family like ate this shit up. Like entirely, like any of this like conspiracy stuff, my family was all into it. Some of my family is still into it, which is also why I don't share the fact that I do this show and or make videos about this shit, because fun R&D family story. My uncle is a and I say this with a lot of air quotes you can't see, is a homeopath doctor. And this last year when I went to go visit for New Year's when I was out in Mexico, we were talking about like, oh yeah, I'm going to school to work in psychology, and this is what I do for a living and whatnot. And he's like, well, if you ever want to go get your doctorate, you should really think about maybe using some crystals in your practice. So yeah, I had a very fun conversation with my uncle about crystals and how they might help my practice. You can make him not be that. It's true, I can. If I spend enough time with my uncle, I could make him not be that, but I don't. And my family says black culture in the sense that they're not racist. Oh no, that is awful. uh, Anti-vaxxers, yeah. My family, at least my direct family, doesn't go full crazy. Like, my mom and dad kind of do believe in some silly things, but nothing like super dangerous. Like they still much for like they still go to the doctors, they still vaccinate, they get their flu shots every year. My dad's diabetic and he takes his insulin if he needs to. Like he doesn't just refuse to take his insulin because he found some other cure. He measures his blood sugar. Like they very much so still do the sciencey things when it's important to their health. So that's good. There are, however, just a crap ton of religious iconography in my house in California, just all over the goddamn place. Like just so many Virgin Marys and no, not really. We have like one Virgin Mary, Virgin of Guadalupe because Mexican, right? So there's still like a lot of religious iconography. My mom still she does a couple of weird things, but nothing like super harmful. Like it's mostly like she really likes elephants because I guess elephants are like good luck. R&D becoming a diabetic in the future, I'm gonna avoid that as much as I can by drinking all the beer. Beer is a cure for diabetes, says Dr. R&D. Please don't take me seriously. Okay. I sense like someone's stalling the video. I am stalling the video. Okay. So with that said, let's uninstall this video.
which was later made into a film of the same name.
Oh, film. There we
These simultaneous events were not new to Keel. He often wrote of window areas, specific locations on our planet where paranormal events were far more likely and even expected to occur. For experiencers and believers of the paranormal, the greatest frustration
Is that just like dead grass? Is that our evidence? Is there evidence dead grass? Has no my roommate has no superstitions, but the elephant one, what the fuck? The elephant one is weird. I don't know what it's a fungus. There's that one fungus. What are the fairy rings, right? There's just one fungus that like grows in a ring like that. It's nothing. Fairy rings. Thank you. Yeah. It's nothing. Anything like it's nothing special. It's just fairy rings, right? Okay. You're the only person I've ever heard mention something like it, Rhetoric&Discourse. Yeah, my mom's really into like she's really into elephants. Like anytime that I travel anywhere, and that I need to buy a souvenir for my mom, I just buy an elephant of some sort, and she loves it. She loves elephants, so I don't know. It's her thing, but again, it's not dangerous. She just, she thinks that having more elephants in her house is good luck. It's not the worst thing. Fun story. Again, just don't want to talk about this video. Fun story. One of the fun things that we do, and like fun, I mean really stupid, at work is so at work, we're very scientifically minded. At least I try to believe so, even though we do stupid shit like this. We are very scientifically minded. We take a lot of data, we analyze a lot of data, we graph, and we make all of our decisions on treatment. I work at a hospital, so all of our treatment decisions are based on data, right? We try not... I'm also... In case you don't know, I'm a behavior therapist. I do applied behavior analysis. There are studies in applied behavior analysis that show you that, how easy it is to become superstitious. There's plenty of studies with gambling. There's also plenty of pigeon studies. The pigeon studies are my favorite because you can see pigeons become superstitious. And now I want to talk about the study because it's one of my favorite studies about animals and how we are superstitious, and I love it. They put a pigeon in a box, and they give it a treat at random intervals. So there's just random intervals. So there's no connection between the pigeon's actions and the delivery of reinforcement. And they put this pigeon in a box with a button. And so the pigeon just starts hitting the button, and randomly treats are delivered. Randomly there's a reinforcement delivered, and you start seeing these pigeons start coming up with like random ass behaviors in an attempt to figure out what the code, and I say this with air quotes you can't see, what the code to triggering the treats is. So they'll often they'll spin around and then hit the button, or they'll hit the button twice. But it's all random. Like there is nothing that they do is going to make the treat be delivered, but they come up with all these superstitions, and it's fascinating to watch pigeons just be superstitious. So so I work in the field that did this. I work in a field that discovered that pigeons are superstitious as fuck, right? And then come up with these superstitions on, turning around, twirling, doing all this stuff just to get treats. One of the things that we do at work constantly do at work is, one, we knock on wood, which many of us have pointed out how absolutely dumb that is, because we, again, are scientifically minded individuals, and knocking on wood does absolutely nothing. And we also, like, we become incredibly superstitious with our cases and with what's going on, and it's hilarious how even working in a hospital, even being learned individuals who understand how superstition works, we have our own superstitions, and we should know better, and yet we still do it, and it's hilarious. Thankfully, none of them are like super, actual like harmful or anything. It's just, we're kind of superstitious. Okay, so with that said, we should get back to this. Oh, nope, wrong one. There we go.
Often lies in the lack of abundant physical evidence. A few landing marks here, a bit of fur there, and
what? That, no. Okay, no. That does not, no. God, you have to, like, strain yourself to make footprints out of that. Also, fairy rings. We talked about fairy rings are perfectly normal things that happen. Fungus grows in a ring shape. It's fine. It's perfectly normal. There's a perfectly normal explanation. They're not landing spots. They're literally a mushroom. A mushroom grows there. It's our group is growing there, is going to grow there, is growing there. It's fine.
even the occasional photograph don't seem to be enough to convince the skeptic.
Oh no, not this photo. Okay. No, you're right. So this is something, and I'm gonna talk about the things that I'm gonna go back to rationality rules, because my whole fucking life revolves around this. But this is one of the things that I've found excruciatingly fascinating with what has happened with the whole rationality rules issue and the trans issue thing that we've been discussing on and off for forever. Is that I've seen a lot of the people who are kind of who are part of, and I quotes, air quotes you can't see, the skeptic community have entirely thrown out a lot of their skepticism, and this is one of them, right? So this guy said, like, even photographs are not good enough for skeptics, right? So one of the things that there's like rules, I guess, for skepticism, and one of them is a claim without evidence can be dismissed without evidence, and then what's the other one? It's like an incredible claim requires incredible evidence, something like that, right? Extraordinary, there we go. An extraordinary claim requires extraordinary evidence. So if you're going to make an extraordinary claim, you have to actually back it up with extraordinary evidence. Like, the claim that you say requires sort of an equal level of evidence to back it up. So if I say I had eggs for breakfast, the amount of evidence that I need to prove that is very different than saying I own a dragon. Those two things may require different amounts of evidence because they are different kinds of claims, right? The I ate eggs for breakfast is a non-consequential claim. Like, if I did or didn't eat egg for breakfast, the universe will still move on without being affected in any way, shape, or form. But me saying I own a dragon entirely, like, it's such a bigger claim that would redefine the way that we understand biology and the way that we understand nature in and of itself, that it requires more evidence for me to make it credible, right? So with that said, what I've noticed is that, and this is something that I got in I pointed out on Twitter, and then I got into a fight with, not fight, but argument on Twitter about, is that I pointed out how often I am seeing a lot of the skeptics that are more than willing to tackle flat earthers and are more than willing to tackle this kind of nonsense, have entirely thrown it away and are more than willing to like do things like accept anecdotes as evidence, or willing to lower their standards of evidence just to be assholes to trans people. And it's a real shame because like the rules for skepticism aren't that hard to follow. Um, provide evidence for your claim. Provide enough evidence for your claim that it's actually valid. Don't use anecdotes. Anecdotes are not evidence. Things like that. So there's a whole lot there, and it's just it's a real shame how much people are willing to lower their standards when it comes to something that they are willing to they just want to agree with. So they'll lower their standards just to agree with something. Okay. Still waiting for all the skeptics to make the follow-up videos they promised. Jimmy will block you if you ask. Who's Jimmy? Yeah, don't use no plum as a source. There's like some very simple source. Like, I'll talk about this one too. Who's Jimmy, so that I can harass him about his video, because I do believe that there's a whole lot of skeptics who owe an apology to the trans community. Mr. Atheist. Yeah, there's a whole lot of skeptics out there who owe a big apology to the trans community, the wait and see people, the people who said no, Russian rules has changed his mind, and he's got, it's all going to be okay, guys, don't worry about it. They owe the trans community a huge apology, and I have seen 0 people do that. So I would like to harass them more about that, because, I don't like having friends on Twitter. It's fine. Someone else said something that I wanted to read that I forgot. Okay, I forgot. It's fine. Okay. With that said, let's talk more about this guy.
After decades of researching such cases, Keel developed an elegant hypothesis, which...
Oh, no. Don't say 0. Colta Dusty has been apologizing for his trans hate in the past few months. So, Colta Dusty, I Colta Dusty supports harassment. Yes. Quote mine that shit. Colta Dusty is kind of his own special little person, but so Colta Dusty is my hero, and you should all go support him on Patreon. But Colta Dusty is apologizing for all the shit that he said over the years that he's been on YouTube. It's not just he from the get-go was on the Rationality Rules is saying some transphobic shit. So he was on that side. I'm talking about the people who, and I'm going to name names because I don't believe in this, like, oh, no, you can't name names. I'm talking about the Sir Skeptics, the Shannon Q's, the Ocean, whatever the hell his name is, the Seth Andrews, the Holy Kool-Aids, the those kinds of people who were like, the Matt Dillahunties, honestly, who said, like, hey, we've talked this over with Steven, and Steven has said he's changed his mind. He doesn't actually feel this way. You just have to wait for his video. It's going to be okay, guys. Don't worry about it. It's those people that I'm talking about. Again, the Surreys, the Skeptic, the Oceans, the Holy Kool-Aids, the Seth Andrews, the Matt Dillahunties of the world. Those are the people that I'm talking about, specifically about this issue, who very much made a statement that things had changed, and that trans individuals just needed to wait for the apology and the new video. And then the new video and the apology came out, and they were garbage. And they have been absolutely silent about this matter since. Those are the people that I'm talking about. Dusty has apologized for a lot of us personally. Yeah. I am causing all the drama. I love it. Dusty, on the other hand, he was never on that. He never did that, right? Dusty was very much so like, I have been a giant dick in the past, and I'm really sorry. And he constantly apologizes for all the things that he has said, and I think that's wonderful. But he didn't actually like do the wrong thing here, right? He didn't, like, from the get-go, he was kind of on the he from the get-go, he was very much so on the Rationality Rules, like, totally fucked up, and we should be holding him accountable, right? I don't hold my breath anymore for Ara. He always announced he'll make a new video that will clear up things, and the only thing he does is double down and did his shit, if not and not correcting. Yeah, no, I rationality rules. I'm not gonna defend him. All right. With that said, we can move on. We're gonna be all over the place today. Let's finish up. So this guy came up with a theory about the unified theory of everything. Now we get to hear about it. We're finally there.
Explains the troublesome disparity between excessive testimony and scarce physical evidence.
Oh, look at that. This is gonna be interesting. I'm really curious because you make it sound scientific, my friend. I doubt it is, but you make it sound scientific. Can we make Arno hold his breath instead? It's true. That's only since then, though. You're getting your chronology wrong. I'm talking about before R. Yes, before R. I probably am getting my chronology wrong. Before rational root. Like, yeah, no. Dusty Smith has been just a complete jackass in the past. Entirely understand that. Like, he has, and he has apologized for it. I am, like I said, I'm very specifically talking about the rationality rules thing, not all the other shit that Dusty Smith has said in the past, and he has said a whole lot of shit in the past. I don't see Dr. McKinnon after R and Plum. Oh no. Yeah, no, Plum is just the worst. It's a typewriter. It's not that special. It's very special. The irony is that even assholes, Dusty wasn't by far one of the worst assholes. He has been cured for 5 or 6 years now, and he's still embarrassed by how bad he behaved. It's true. It's true. One of the talking points, and I kind of get tired of Dusty saying this every time, but I think that it's important to bring up is that it would be the amount of harm that people like Shuan Head, an Armored Skeptic, and Noel Plum and that group has done. It's true. I'm going to talk about it all the time. It's going to talk about it forever. That the amount of harm that they have done is incredibly horrible. Peter Molyneux is the worst. Peter Molyneux is the worst, but for different reasons than Stephen Molyneux. They are both the worst, but for very variable differences. Peter Molyneux is pretty bad, though. Stephen Molyneux is also really bad. All right, so typewriters. Shu lives in your neighborhood. Oh no, I could never. That would be awful. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so the closest that I've seen is there's one car, and I bump into it kind of occasionally riding around Omaha. There's one car of a flat earther like riding around Omaha, and very proudly a flat earther, like flat earth stickers like all over the back, and every time I really want to just follow them home, but that's super creepy and I don't want to do it, but I really do. I want to just follow them home and be like, why? Does she live in Canada with Greg? No, she lives in the state, and I think she goes up to visit Canada. Populous, Fable, Black and White. Black and White was fun. Black and White was a really good game. I really did enjoy Black and White a whole lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. I never played Fable except for I played the second one a little bit. I didn't enjoy it too much. I hear the first one's a lot of fun, but it just didn't meet up to the promises that Peter Molyneux set out. But it's still a lot of fun, especially like the physical changes that your character goes through as they age and whatnot. And that was really cool. And I know a lot of like RPG-ers really enjoyed it. But Black and White was fun. Black and White was just a whole lot of fun. Just a really fun game to play. Peter Molyneux just needs to stop promising shit that he can't deliver given the current technology. I think if he tried to make Fable now, he would actually be able to deliver on what he promised. You really disliked Black and White? Oh, that's too bad. I mean, I could see why, but I enjoyed it. That's so. Let's whatever. It's their video games. To each their own cup of tea, right? When it comes to that. As far as I know, Shu is in Canada full time now. Oh, is she now? Okay, then I could be wrong. I said I from the last time I heard, I don't follow either of them on anything, so I just kind of get whatever, whatever that is. Just occasionally get the tweet or whatever about what they're up to. I mean, Molyneux's main problem is that he talks to the press like he would talk to a dev team. All hype, no realism. It's true. I I know I understand. I understand why like people don't want to trust Peter Molyneux with video games anymore because he has overhyped games forever. But considering what state video games are in now, I think he could potentially pull off some of his very grandiose ideas now. I think he could actually pull like if Fable 1 were being made now, I think he could pull it off, and I think it would be fantastic. If he tried to do it now, but you know, but that's where. When did this turn into Guru Larry? I don't know. I know too much about video games that I don't play very much. I really should play more video games. It's just they're so boring. God, they're just so boring. Okay, here we go.
His book, The Eighth Tower, written at the same time as the Mothman prophecies, proposes a sort of unified theory to explain all paranormal events.
Okay, so I know that I just said we have a new goal for our super chats, right? Our new goal might be the Eighth Tower. Our new goal might be with the Eighth Tower. I'm gonna write this down because I kind of want to read this silly ass book. Eighth. Oh, I can't read that because it's blurry. Let's fix it. There we go. The Eighth Tower by John Cleo. Okay, I'm gonna look that up, see if they have it in a local library. Always go to your local library. Can't play more video games with that Mac though. They're not worth playing anyway. They're really not worth playing ever anyway. What's the other 7? I don't know. Probably just from looking at this, my guess is gonna be like the 7 Wonders of the World. You haven't watched me stream OOTP. I don't know what those letters stand for, so no. And you do a lot of Twitch stuff, right, Red? Because I mostly know you, Red, from the Twitters and your one debate that you had with somebody on like Modern Debates or something like that. That's it. If you have a Twitters, Twitter it, or not Twitters. If you have a Twitcher, right? Yeah. If you have a Twitcher thing, put it in the chat. And I would love to see what you do with that. I don't play a lot of video games, but I do like to watch other people do them. Ultra terrestrial, is that a thing? Oh, an ultra terrestrial and the super spectrum, and the ultra terrestrial. That's fun. I'm sorry, but going back to video games. No, I was never much of a PC gamer to begin with, so like I'm not missing out on a whole lot of PC games. Also, most PC games suck anyway. Most games suck. Gonna say it. Hot take from R&D. Games suck. I am not like most games are kind of samey and whatnots. Like I remember playing the original Assassin's Creed, and that was so unique and so interesting back in whatever 2005, 2006, whenever the fuck that came out, right? That was so interesting and so unique and such a neat game, because it did something that a lot of games hadn't done, and then from that, it devoided into nonsense so quickly. Like, I don't. You're pretty PC with all the trans rights stuff, but bush. There we go. 2007, probably. It was the early 2000s area. I was still in college. That's the only thing I remember. But like a lot of the games that I enjoy are one, multi-platform games, or two, made by like little developers. Like some of my favorite games that I still remember that I've recently played and just absolutely loved are things that like most people haven't played because they are far more fascinating. Thomas Was Alone, Little Inferno. I'm pretty sure everyone played the what was the one? Oh shoot. I can't remember the other one. I mean, I also played like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, and those are also fantastic. But like remembrance-wise, like Little Inferno and Thomas Was Alone, just fan-fucking-tastic. Limbo is great. Like, there's so many, like, those are the games that I really, really enjoy. Minecraft, because Minecraft, right? But those are the games that I really enjoy. They are very rarely. I did enjoy Doom 2016. I thought that was a fantastic game. So much fun. I'm very happy that a lot of the old school shooters are being remade. Like, I really enjoy what's the one? Night Dive Studios is remaking a whole lot of games. They are re-releasing, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They did the original Turok, which is great on PC, and they also did it for Mac, and it's fantastic on PC and Mac. It was fantastic on the N64, so there's that. What was the other one they did? Shadow Warrior, also great. Blood Fresh Supply, I haven't played it yet, but I'm sure that it's fantastic, because Night Dive Studios just does the best shit ever. Like, but again, these are old games. These aren't like modern releases by big studios. Those are the kinds of games that I like. I really don't enjoy the Assassin's Creeds, the Call of Duties, the Divisions, the Destinies. I don't enjoy those as much. It's just blood. You're right. It's just blood. It's just prettier, and whatever. You're playing an indie title called the Black Tier Arc Hero School Star. It's really fun. Okay, cool beans. Yeah, all those kinds of games are just the best. The 2012 games for PlayStation. Yeah. Oh, Journey. I want to play Journey. I never got a chance to play Journey. Like, I still own my GameCube. I still own my PS2. I still own my N64. I have a Super Nintendo Mini, which I love the shit out of. Like, there's so many good things out there that are not big game releases, and big game releases are just garbage, honestly. Voltier EN. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay, so with that said, let's try to finish. We're gonna try to finish this video. Maybe not get distracted by gaming stuff, which is far more interesting.
All paranormal events. These entities are able to shift up and down the electromagnetic spectrum.
Did we? Okay, sorry. Now I just remembered that we were playing a game. I just remembered that's what we were doing. We were playing a game. Oh no. Okay, come back over here. Cancel you. Go away. We were playing a game, so let's see if we can find it. Where's my previewer? There we go. Is that what no, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, that's it, but that's not what I wanted. I want to do Google Chrome. There we go. Okay. So, no, go back. I don't know what I moved, but it wasn't what I wanted to move. Oh my goodness, I am moving all the things on my thing that I don't want to move. Okay. So, I have blocked off the paranormal, or yeah, I blocked off paranormal. Did we talk about wavelength? Do we want to consider that wavelength? What do we think? That feels like wavelength should be crossed off. I feel like it. Like, that was kind of wavelengthy enough. No, no. Okay, fine. Okay, we won't cross up wavelength. I think we should, but you all make the big decisions around here, not R&D. Okay. So let's go. No, that is not. See, this is what I mean about needing somebody to handle all the switching screen things, because R&D cannot handle it at all. Okay.
Appearing and disappearing as they please. Keel called this the super spectrum.
Super spectrum. I love this. I love this super spectrum and the ultra terrestrials. It's great. Spectrum was suggested. Like, this very much sounds like wavelength. They are also pretending that wavelength is a dimension, or that light is a dimension. I don't know.
He referred to the beings inhabiting it as ultra-terrestrials.
Oh, okay. Well, now we know where the super spectrum and the ultra-terrestrials comes from. That's great.
This could explain the variety of electromagnetic effects often associated with paranormal events. Cars stall, widespread power outages occur.
Okay, Car. Okay. Car stall. So I want to make sure that I understand this right. You think that a book written in what, the 80s has an explanation for car stalling rather than, not maintaining your car properly, and since it's the 80s, somebody sucking at driving a stick shift. Is that where we're at? That's where we're at. Okay.
Radios and telephones go crazy, and battery-operated devices refuse to work.
Have you checked the batteries? Batteries might be drained. Just saying that there might be, just possibly, potentially, a simpler answer to why car stall and battery-operated devices don't work than ultra-terrestrials and super spectrums. I'm just, Occam's razor and whatnot. It's just, there just might be simpler explanations. We can go with yours. We can go with yours. But, there might be other explanations.
Clocks and watches have also been known to stop in the presence of UFOs, monsters, and ghosts.
Oh, okay. That's anecdotally interesting. Clocks? Okay.
Keel believes these beings are native to the Earth, which explains their manifestation in different forms throughout the ages, but that they inhabit physical dimensions beyond normal human perception.
Oh, we did dimensions. That was a thing. I remember that one. That was a thing. We did do dimensions. Dimension was meant to be one of them. I do remember that. Okay. Did I get the right one? I did. Okay. So let's go over here. We'll get ourselves a circle. And we'll cross off dimensions. So if you're playing along, dimension is a thing. Have we talked about supernaturals, heavenly? I kind of want to do natural. I feel like we talked about natural, but whatever. Dimensions, definitely cross that one off. If you're playing along with this silly game of ours, cross off dimensions. Again, if you get a win, let me know. You will. I don't know. We'll do a thing. I don't know what that thing will be, but we will do it anyway. No, will you stop thing? There we go. Nope, that's my cursor. Don't want to see my cursor. I want to see that. Okay, perfect.
Perception. This theory fits with scientific understandings.
No. No. I can't even get over this sentence, this theory. They're like, no. No, my friend. Nope, I don't, you're gonna say a thing, and you're gonna try to explain this, but I wanna say no right off the bat, just no.
How our brains perceive the world around us. It is well known that our senses are only equipped to pick up a very small slice of physical activity. Dogs, cats, and other animals are able to hear audio frequencies we cannot. Is it simply coincidence that they seem to have a sixth sense for the paranormal?
What? Don't put this on your dog. Okay. So, my guess is, your dog hears better than you do, because they do, right? And what you mean by sixth sense for the paranormal is that they get freaked out by shit that you can't hear and or see. Because you can't hear it. Yes, it is a coincidence entirely. Speaking of which, so I heard about this, and I have to look this up. So again, take this with the giant clump of salt, right? Because I only heard about this from one of my coworkers that didn't actually look it up. But I am told that cities around the country are putting up these pods, these boxes, these somethings called mosquitoes. Apparently NPR reported on it, so it's NPR, so trust it, I guess. Called mosquitoes, and what they do is they're just these boxes that play really high frequency noises. So if you don't know, for you youngins out there, you might this was a trend back in the 2009s, 2010s, for you youngins. when you're younger, you can hear higher frequencies, and as you get older, your cells in your ears die out, so you can hear you can't hear as high of a frequency as you could before. You can actually like check this out. You can like test this. You like Google, frequency tests or something, and you will get it. You get somebody who of different ages, and you'll be able to see that younger people can hear up to higher frequencies than older people. So I can't hear as high as some other people. So the point is, you have these boxes that are placed in public areas. I guess cities are doing this now, which play these high frequency sounds that are meant to be heard by young people. So they're loud and obnoxious to them, but not for old people, and they're meant to deter young people from being in certain areas at certain part of the days. Yeah, it was used to keep the young people off the lawn. There we go. Which I think is just fucking dumb. Like, in every sense of the word. One, like, I understand that, like, young people don't pay their taxes, probably, but they still, like, if young people can hear better, why do I have to yell at them to do stuff? It's true. Which is just harassing teenagers, because that's fine. Yeah, this is real though. Like, on the one hand, I think the social engineering aspect is incredibly interesting. Like, from that perspective, I'm like, this is super cool. So from that perspective, I'm like fascinated by the fact that cities are doing this, and it's super neat. From the perspective of like humans' right, like, this is really crappy, and you should stop doing it now because it's not okay. That and loitering in front of business in the UK, if I remember the news stories correct. Yeah, so it's to like keep them off of parks and stuff. It's dumb, it's stupid, and it should stop. But it is incredibly fascinating that this is where we're at now, where we are like targeting these or making these noises that target teenagers so that they stay off of our lawns. This is fascinating to no end. Also, stop doing it. That's just mean and unnecessary. Like, kids, let kids be kids. It's fine. Kids are meant to be rebellious. That is one of the neat things about being young. You're meant to be rebellious. It's fine. Be rebellious. That is your job. Your job is to rebel against us older folks. It's fine. Do it. Do that rebellious shit. You are what will hopefully, if you don't follow Dave Rubin, you are what's gonna make the world a better place. Please rebel against our stupidity. Do it because we don't listen. So rebel away. So that's that. That's my opinion on that. Rebel, children, rebel away.
Pet psychologist Marty Miller has said, "Sensing the supernatural is natural."
Oh! We got supernatural and natural. Were those two? That might have been two. There's also some like great comments here. There's a higher percentage that a child will grow up to be a murderer than there are chances that an adult will become a murderer. Think about that. That's interesting. I feel like that's an interesting statistical thing rather than a like than a correlational thing. Like, there's just it's one of those like what's my favorite, the one that I use. Did you know that like the murder rates and the rates of ice cream sales both increase during summer? It's great. So obviously, more ice cream sales equals more murders. Oh no. I think I've shut up the camera. Okay, there's some other good ones. I never fucking lost the range, and those things annoy the fuck out of me. I'm always asking people to my age if they can hear something people our age are annoying. Present company accepted. Yeah, no. And so that is one of the problems with these machines, is that not everyone not everyone loses. Like, there isn't like a particular. So there is kind of like a rate, right? Of when you lose your hearing, but it's not the same for everyone's, which means that there are older people who can still hear these machines making their incredibly loud noises. Of course, like wildlife and pets are also affected by this, so that doesn't get included. So it's just a loaded statistic. It's just like saying 35% of managerial positions are taken by homosexuals, as they don't need any breaks by the government. Yeah, That makes sense. Okay. We were gonna go to our Woo Bingo card because I think we got a couple of. We got natural and we got supernatural. I think both of those were on our Woo Bingo card, if I remember correctly. So let's check out our Woo Bingo card. We have supernatural, so we'll get ourselves a box in the supernatural spot. Bam. And we do, I believe, have natural down here. Piscology. Oops, I moved a thing. Did not mean to move that thing. We're gonna go make ourselves another shape here. Bam. Natural. Okay. We still have ancient wisdom, catalyst. So if I get piscology, I get a bingo. Catalyst, ancient wisdom, wavelength, heavenly, consciousness, pyramids, quantum, and space are still up for. Is a column a bingo? Column's a bingo. A bingo is any four in a row. So up and down, side to side, all cross, whatever. It's all a bingo. So I will accept that. If you got a bingo, send me a screenshot on Twitter's and or the other thing that I'm on that I know has a name to it. Discord. Send me a picture on the Discord that you got a bingo, and I will get you your boobs. Oh, we have a bingo! Anything but a diagonal. Oh, we're not accepting diagonals. I don't get to make the rules, apparently. Subnatural should be a thing. Okay, so yeah, send me a screenshot if you got a bingo, and we will bingo you. Free nudes of R&D. Oh, okay. So speaking of nudes on R&D, oh god, I gotta watch how I say things. The internet will be the death of me one of these days. Speaking of, so one of the things that I would like to do, and since you're in my chat and I am wasting your time, that I would like to do is I'm really like my wife has been doing an incredible job of this, and I feel like a lazy asshole for not following suit with her. Is that she's been exercising like a lot. And that's great for her, and I would like to join in, but I also don't have the time to join in. So with that said, I would like to do I would like to like have you all hold me accountable on like exercising, and part of that is, you know, shirtless pics of R&D on the Twitters and or whatever medium that we see as that. So how do you feel about that? You don't need exercise? I think I do need some exercise. Geo Strebber has called me fat more than once. So I'm sitting here topless. It's hot in Buffalo. Oh yeah, I bet it is. Oh god, it's really hot here. I don't know why I haven't closed this door and turned on the AC yet. It's really bad here. Okay, with that said, it does look like I did get a picture from Microblogganism. So Microblogganism has gotten himself a bingo. So I guess boobs is kind of the free thing to do. Okay, so with that said, I'm gonna let I'm gonna let Microblognism decide what boobs he gets to have. You get to pick a number between 1 and 36. I will let you have those boobs. And then while you decide, we will continue to listen to more of Marty Miller. Oh, Marty Miller's got a thing about supernatural and natural. Okay. Nope, that hit the wrong button.
For dogs, because they don't judge it. People could see auras or spirits, but they either don't believe they exist or think that if they do exist, we could not see them.
There's a lot of things wrong with that, but let's look at some boobs first. Because there's a lot of things wrong with that sentence. There we go. Thank you, Microblognism. Well, not thank you, Microblognism, but you got yourself a bingo. Oh, you get boobs. You don't get boobs, you get butts. You get butts this time around. That's not how that works. Yeah, okay, yeah, so that's not how any of that works. Okay, so one of the fun things, it actually do mean fun this time around, is that unlike my usual, like, this is fun in a terrible way, is that things that actually happen physically, right? Is that we can like we can test them in other ways besides seeing them. Like seeing them is one way, right? But there's a reason that we don't use anecdotes as evidence, right? There's a reason that when somebody says, I have a pet dragon, that we're like, huh? And it's because we don't use anecdotes as evidence. And there are other ways to, um, we can test them in other ways besides seeing them. Like seeing them is one way, right? But there's a reason that we don't use anecdotes as evidence. There's a reason that when somebody says, I have a drag, I have a pet dragon, that we're like, huh? And it's because we don't use anecdotes as evidence. And there are other ways to get readings on our environment. So the fact is there is not a single thing correct in that sentence. That is true. So it's not just like, so if auras are real, right? If the things that you're talking about are real, then it should not rely on the observer for us to be able to detect it in any way, shape, or form, right? We should be able to detect it just in an objective way, right? We should be able to do it by cameras, by sensors, by spectrographs, by whatever. There's electromagnetic. There's so many goddamn sensors that we have. There should be a way to do it. The fact that we can't, and it has to be done through this like subjective way of somebody seeing it, goes to show you that it's probably not real, and it's all just kind of in your head.
Furthermore, our sensory organs are constantly capturing far more information than our brains can process. One of the most critical functions of the brain's sensory response is filtering out information that it deems unnecessary.
Okay, that's actually true. I hate it when you all are right. God, I hate it. This is like, you're right, but for the wrong reasons. So one of the things that your body is, or your brain is really good at is oh God, there's two terms for this. God, there's two terms for this, and they mean slightly different things, but are very similar. One is like, not adaptation. It's, so when you hear like the same sound over and over again, you start to ignore it. You're like, your brain doesn't hear it. Like, so, okay, your brain, your senses do in fact like capture a whole lot of things, and if we were to actually pay attention to all of it, it would drive you insane because it's a crap ton of shit all the time, right? So what your brain does is it turns off, or it makes kind of sensory adaptation. That's one of them. There's another one. I forget what it is. So one of them sensory adaptation, and I think that's this one, which is that if you hear things frequently, think of like your AC, a fan going, like those white noise kinds of things, like those kinds of noises, your brain tunes them out, so they're no longer, they're there so constantly that your brain just shuts off listening to them. Desensitization. There we go. God, I can't read that word. Desensitization. Sure, why not? You're desensitized to that noise. So if you hear it enough, the same thing happens, like not just with noise, but with visual things. It also happens with like sense, like your skin and stuff. Like, it's why you don't feel your clothes all the time, right? Like, the only time you feel your clothes is when they're like tight, or there's something's rubbing in the wrong spot, but you don't actually feel your clothes the rest of the time. Like, even though your clothes is causing sensory things to happen, right? Your clothes is rubbing against things, but your brain kind of says, no, those are normal things that you feel, so we're gonna ignore those. And then the other one is, and now we all feel our clothes. It's true. I feel mine all the time. The other one is things that your brain just deems unimportant. So there's some things that your brain just decides, this shit ain't important, so I'm gonna ignore it. It's slightly different than desensitization. The other one, right? The one I just talked about. It's slightly different, right? It's slightly different, but it's very similar. But it's your brain doesn't think that these things are important, and the reason that it does this is because there are things that are far more important. So, a great kind of example of this, and it's definitely worth looking up, is there's a great study, and you can find videos of this. I'm trying to figure out what the term might be that you find it. Richard Dawkins talks about it in his God book that I forget the name of, and I think he talks about the magical reality one. But like, it's okay. So the study goes like this: you take a subject and you ask them, "Hey, you're gonna watch a video now, and I want you to watch this one person bounce a basketball, and I need you to count how many times this basketball is bounced, right? The Dawkins, not Dawkins. Dawkins would be great. Dawkins, right? And I need you to count how many times this basketball is bounced. And so what happens is the subjects go in, they watch this video, and they count the amount of times this basketball is bounced. And they're relatively accurate about how often the... oh, thank you, Dara. That's probably the right clip. And they are relatively accurate about how often the ball is bounced. But because your brain is focused on this one task, and you've been told to be focused on this one task, you entirely ignore what everything else is. And it's worth watching you trying it. I kind of don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but go try it for yourself. Looks like Dora has linked it. And bounce or pass between players. I forget what the rule is. I think the link might be able to tell you. But you're given a specific task, and that's the thing. You're given a specific task, and your brain focuses on this, and it entirely ignores everything else in the video. The thing's like 10 years old. It's true. Okay, so spoiler alerts. If you don't want to know like the ending to the study, pause and go do the study yourself. Right? It's fun. But what ends up happening is, they ask you, hey, how many times did the ball bounce? And people give their scores and whatnots. And then they ask people, hey, did you see the gorilla walking around in the background? And as it turns out, most people don't see just this man in a gorilla suit walking around in this video. And it's because your brain is focused on this one task that it entirely ignores everything, including really weird-ass shit like a man in a gorilla. I also gave a spoiler alert. Micro, it's not my fault that if you are watching it, this is entirely your own fault. They should have done the test with blonde in her bikini bottoms only. Oh... How many men would have overlooked the additional element in the scenery? It's true. So yeah. So if your brain kind of has the specific task, it will ignore other things. There's other tests that are similarly. They're very, very similar to this. The kind of one of the ones that I did in one of my psychology classes was you're supposed to track, so somebody reads, like you have a video and somebody reads a set of words, and you're supposed to track down how many of those words are like vegetable or like, you know, some sort of plant life, how many of them are animals, and then how many of them are just things, right? And you sit there and you track this stuff down, and then in the middle of all that, they put in like just the weird ass shit that like nobody pays attention to, because your brain is so focused on your task that it entirely ignores other things. So that was a very long way of saying they're right. Your brain does ignore things. It's very good at it, because otherwise you would notice every little thing, and that kind of sucks. Because your brain does take in a lot of information, and it would really suck to be able to feel your clothes all the time, or be able to hear every little sound that happens around you, because there's a lot of, like, sounds don't stop. Your brain just kind of ignores them. Okay, very, very long-winded way of getting to this point. God damn.
Pattern recognition plays a large role in this process. When you see something that looks like a tree, your brain acknowledges the general shape of a tree and quickly creates the idea of a tree. But what happens when you observe something that fits no recognized pattern?
Okay, so let's go back for a second. This is a recognized pattern. This is very, like, I hope this isn't your example, because this is a very recognized pattern, right? Like a minotaur, not a minotaur. This is a centaur. Centaur is a very recognized pattern. It's been a pattern in human thought since the fucking Greeks. Like, they had centaurs. Like, this isn't new. This isn't unknown to you. You can still see things that you haven't seen before. It's true. So when your brain sees this thing, again, unless we're in kind of the specific, like, I'm not going to see this thing because I am doing a task, or whatever, your brain is still going to see it. So you're kind of, yeah, they didn't have centaurs on. They did have centaurs. The Greeks had centaurs.
You observe something that fits no recognized pattern. What we pay attention to is largely determined by our expectations of what should be present, said Christopher Chabris, a cognitive psychologist, in an interview with the New York Times.
And I'm sure that's quote mined, but I don't feel like looking it up. I'm gonna go with quote mining the shit out of that.
Without expecting something, we're unlikely to pay attention to it, he says. And when we are not paying attention to something, we are surprisingly likely to not see it. This could also explain the common motif described by Keel and many other researchers, that when you start studying these phenomena, they begin to reflect back, occurring with more regularity and even responding to your thoughts.
Okay, again, not wrong entirely, but not correct for the same reasons that you were wrong. So like you just said, right? Like let's absolutely take the quote that you just said, 100%. We got another. Oh, did we? What did we get? Oh, we did get Piscology. Oh, we did get Piscology. Let's Piscology the shit out of this. Okay, so let's. Ba-bam. Okay, let's Piscology this. Oh, which means R&D got a bingo. All right. Well, R&D is like out of the game now because I got a bingo. I guess I can get multiple bingos, but I got this bingo, which means we, of course, get boobs because that's like the only prize that I can give out. Since it's my bingo, I'm gonna let I am gonna let Google decide for us because I obviously in servitude of my great overseer Google, who pays the bills and whatnots. So I know I'm saying it wrong, but it's one of my favorite things. Okay, Google. Let's see here. Pick a number between 1 and 36.
16.
16. All right. So with that said, we will get to 16, and then I'll talk about why this person is both wrong and right at the same time, which is a very interesting thing to do. Good job, us. We got ourselves another bingo. Oh, no. Oh, it stopped working. Sorry, everyone. I don't know why OBS is doing this. I probably do, but I don't. Okay. So I don't know why it's doing this. It did that last time and I don't know. Okay. Okay, so why you were wrong. Okay. So earlier before you said if your brain isn't expecting a thing, right? It's not going to notice it. It's not going to be paying attention to it. You then went on to say that once you learn more about these things, your brain is expecting it. So here's the fun bit about your brain. Your brain is a pattern recognizing machine. It's what it does. It looks for patterns, and regardless of whether there's a pattern there, it's going to tell you there's a pattern there. That's what that one thing that I love the word of. Shoot, when you see faces in places that they shouldn't be. Something. It's a word. I don't know it. I used to know it. I don't remember why I don't remember it right now. But so your brain sort of sees patterns where there shouldn't be. So if you are of the pareidolia, thank you, pareidolia, one of my favorite words. If you train your brain to say you should be seeing these things, you should be seeing angels, you should be seeing Bigfoot, you should be seeing all this other crap, then you are going to see it more often by the same reasoning that you had before, right? Like, it's the very same reasoning video that you had as to why we don't notice things is why you do notice things when they're not there. You're training your brain to see things that they're not there. So going back to something that I talked about, like way at the beginning of the stream about listening to records backwards, right? One of the things that a lot of people do when they have you listen to records backwards, right? Or even when they have you listen to audio of things that are like unrecognizable, right? Is that they're put subtitles at the bottom of it, right? So with that, they're prepping you to what you should be hearing. And because you're prepped to what you should be hearing, that is what you hear. The same thing is true if you are prepping your brain to seeing ghosts, seeing centaurs or whatever, seeing Bigfoot, seeing whatever, then your brain is already prepped to see and or hear these things, right? Like, there's a reason why all these ghost shows, right? These ghost shows are terrible at this and fantastic at doing it at the same time, because they do it. They're egregious about this. They will take their whatever super sensitive microphones and their sensors or whatever the fuck, right? They'll take it and they'll record noise in a house, and that's really all they're recording, because ghosts aren't real. Spoiler alert: ghosts aren't real. And so they go out there and they record all this noise, they record all this stuff, and then in the show, when you actually see or hear the recording, they'll put a caption underneath of like what is being said, prepping you to hear that thing. So what you are doing by learning, and I put learning in air quotes, you can see, what you are doing by learning about the supernatural in the way that you're trying to promote people learning about the supernatural is you are prepping your brain to hear and or see these things. So yes, as you learn, air quotes you can't see, as you learn more about the supernatural, you start seeing more of the supernatural because you prepped your brain to see more of the supernatural. So yeah, you're not wrong, but you're not right for the reasons you think you're right.
It seems that once your brain recognizes these beings and begins paying attention to them, your odds of glimpsing them improve. In the 1960s, writer Gustav Davidson was compiling a massive book of historical accounts called Dictionary of Angels. Davidson had never had a paranormal experience before, but during his writing, he was literally bedeviled by angels.
Do we want to pick heavenly out of that one? I think we should, but that's just me. Bedeviled. Is that close enough to heavenly? Again, the same kind of thing. If you prep your brain to this stuff, right? If you prep your brain. So one of my two fun stories come from this, from college, which means sex is involved. Sorry, adults. Which means that, yeah, sex is involved in this. So, when I was in college, I very much so okay, how to context all this. Okay, when I was in college, there was this girl who very, very, very much so believed in ghosts and whatnots, right? And so one day, she brought over to my dorm room, she brought over a Ouija board, right? And she was like way into ghosts and whatnots. If you don't know what a Ouija board is, it's a board that you move around the little magnifying pointer glass thingy, right? You move it around and stuff, and you pretend as if a ghost is moving it around, but it's really you who's moving it around, right? But you pretend that it's a ghost because you have like 3 or 4 people doing the touching at the same time, and so it's definitely a Ouija board. You do it all at the same time, so it's hard to really feel who's doing the pushing, pulling when it comes to the magnifying glass thing. Okay, so I had a friend who very, very much so into ghosts, right? Who very much so into ghosts. And she was so she brought it over, and for a while there, I went entirely along with this whole ghost thing, entirely to get laid. Like, no other reason for me to pretend. Like, I actually genuinely pretended that there was a ghost in my dorm room so that I could get laid. This had a point, which I forgot about. You can't, if you are prepped, if you prep your mind to to believe in this shit, you will believe in it regardless of what's happening, because you've already prepped your brain to do this. This is, again, the very basic psychology here. There's nothing going on here. So this guy who's been studying angels and whatnots, they are already prepping their mind to believe in angels and whatnot. So of course they're gonna have an angel experience because they already think that that's what they should have. So yeah, like this isn't revolutionary. This is again another anecdote by just a random ass person in some other year, right? And it really, like, yeah, you prep your brain. That's what you're gonna do. I don't believe in ghosts, but I have seen them. Yeah. Okay. So what was the other story? So that's one of my ghost stories. Growing up in Mexico, again, Mexican, fully embrace ghost, right? Love me some ghosts. One of the stories and I had, and I like, as an adult and a skeptic now, I entirely understand how I didn't see the things that I did, right? But as a kid growing up in Mexico, I had stories of seeing ghosts, right? I have stories of getting up in the middle of the night, and seeing ghosts down the hallways. Like I 100% embrace ghosts when I was a kid because I had seen ghosts. Like I could, with the same kind of conviction that people tell you about angels, I could tell you about the ghosts that I had seen. I might have, and even in some point, probably had called them angels because I was also religious. You should probably not listen to children about their experiences with ghosts. To top it all off, most of my ghost experiences also happened after watching scary movies. Imagine that. It's almost as if my brain was prepped to watch to see scary things because I just saw scary things, and then I did see scary things, and then I pretended like they were real. Yeah. Your brain can be very, very easily influenced by the things in your surrounding. This isn't anything new. Thank you, Gaia, for not saying anything new or better than anything else. I once hallucinated a ghost when I was super high when I had a super high fever. Does that count? Yeah, why not? Why not?
But during his writing, he was literally bedeviled by angels. Participants in the growing CE5 movement go one step further, intentionally working to summon this sort of contact.
And this just makes it worse. All right, we're gonna probably end here because I'm more or less repeating myself. Yes. So if you are going to go and like actively try to find ghosts, you are going to find ghosts. Granted, the ghosts aren't real, but you are going to find them because you are actively looking for them. Like, you have set out to look. This is confirmation bias like no other. If you are actively looking for something, guess what you're going to find? You're going to find the thing that you are actively looking for to, confirm your bias. Duh. So, all right. Well, this was fun. This was a fun little tale. We'll flip the camera around. Ooh, I think the camera's sideways. It is a little sideways. There we go. So, with that said, thank you very much to everyone for being here. I greatly appreciate it. This was a fun show. We got to talk about ghosts. We talk about boobs. We got to do fun R&D sex stories. Just, best time ever. A big thank you again to everyone who has done a super chat or has been a patron for the last little bit, because you have helped me get a new computer. We have reached our goal at this point. It's just a matter of getting the monies in the right place. But you have helped get a new computer set up, and I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully it'll be here in the next couple of weeks, and everything, we will have an improved show. None of this laggy business no more. We will get there. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you everyone who's in the chat. Always greatly appreciated. Christy, Abby, welcome to being a moderator. You don't actually have a job. It just means that you can type as much as you want. So welcome to being a moderator. Everyone else, thank you, Dorakun, for showing up. I hope it's great. Again, greatly appreciate all my patrons like no other. I am promising. I am actually working on the next Eric Debay video. I promise. I started writing the script. It's just Eric Debay videos take a little bit of a while to get through, but I have not given up on that yet. Everyone, have yourselves a good rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.